Blessed day, guys, and peace be upon this morning. So in this video, we're going to do part 2 of the DHCP version 6 server using a Cisco routers. Okay, so I'll open our Google spreadsheet and let you know that today we're doing number 16, part 2, DHCP version 6 server part 2 using Cisco router. Okay, so in this scenario, we want to configure this router to act as DHCP version 6 server to allocate these computers IPv6 addresses, and we're going to use this network here. Okay, alright, so let's get started. The first thing that you always do when you're configuring DHCP server is to create pools. Okay, so in DHCP version 6 we're going to create what is called address prefix, okay, instead of pools. Okay, alright, so I'll just click on this router, come to CLI, and enable config T. Okay, then the first step that you should never forget is always to enable IPv6 unicast routing. That's all. Don't forget this command. Okay, so let's begin configuring DHCP version 6 on this router. So let's make this router a server, a DHCP version 6 server. Okay, alright, so what we do, we create what is called pools. So we just say IPv6 DHCP pool, then we name the pool. For example, let's say test, just like that. That's enough. Okay, then hit enter. Then we write what's called address prefix IPv6. Sorry, we just query and we see what's there. Yes, so we just write address prefix to be the network there. Okay, so we just copy our network there and come and paste here. Okay, then hit enter. We specify the DNS server. So DNS server, we want our DNS server to be the IP address of this IPv6 address of this interface. So we will configure that later. So I just copy this one, I paste that one there, and I change this one to 1. Okay, and I just hit enter. Then finally, we specify domain name. We just say domain name to be, let's say, gtech.com, and we hit enter, exit, and do right. So we are done creating pools. So it's this pool that will be used to assign this computer's IPv6 address automatically or dynamically. Okay, all right, so let's go to step 2, that we're going to assign an IPv6 address to this interface and bind it or associate it to the pool that we just created. So we just go to this interface, which is it's gig 00. So interface gig 0/0. Okay, then we can assign it. Let's first assign it a link local address. Okay, IPv6 add to be, let's just make link local address to be fair 80 double : and then even 3. Okay, then we specify that this is link local. We hit enter. Then now let's assign it a global unicast address according to this network. Okay, so I just copy this. Remember, we said that both the DNS server and the IP address of this interface will be the same. Okay, just copy and I just say IPv6 address. I paste that one. Okay, and then 64, and I hit enter. Okay, so this interface here is having a link local address of this one and global unicast address of this one. Okay, alright, so let's bind it to the pool that we just created. So how do we bind it? We just say IPv6 just query IPv6 DHCP DHCP, then query again DHCP server. Okay, it's the DHCP server. Okay, now when you come to DHCP server, just query and you see it's a word. It's giving you a suggestion of inputting a word there. Okay, so that word is the name of the pool that we created earlier. Remember this one, okay? Test. So we just go there and write server test, and we hit it. Okay, then so it's very, very important that we let this host know that they can use DHCP version 6 server. Okay, so we configure parameter on this interface to let this host know that they can use this router as their DHCP server. So which command is that? We just say IPv6 and neighbor discovery, and then let's query. Yes, manage config, or should use DHCP for address config. Manage config flag. So this command here will let all of these hosts know that they should use DHCP for address config. Then we just hit enter, and as you can see, this interface is down. Turn it up, no shut, and exit, do right. So very few commands. The first thing, create DHCP pool with the name IPv6 DHCP pool test. Then you give address prefix as per the network. You give this one, okay? Then you specify DHCP server. I mean DNS server. So DNS server in this case, I want it to be as equal as this one, IP address of this one, IPv6 address of this one, okay? So I make it colon 1, okay? Then most importantly, don't forget domain name. All right, so let's get into this interface so that we can bind it or associate it to the pool that we just created. Okay, so when you enter that interface, the first thing you do, always assign it. It's recommended that you assign it a link local address, although it's not a must. Okay, then the one that's a must is the global unicast address. Make sure you assign it the global unicast address. Okay, then after assigning it a global unicast address, bind it to the pool that we created. You just say IPv6 DHCP server test. Test was the name of the pool that we created. Okay, then we have to tell the host that they have to use DHCP for address configuration, and that's all about DHCP version 6 using a router. So when I go to this computer, just go to all of them very, very fast to save time. Okay, so when I go back to these computers and just try to click that one, and you see I changed it to automatic. You can see it has been assigned IPv6 address automatically based on this address. Okay, you can see all the first 1, 2, 3, 4. The first octets, the first 4 octets are the same. Okay, then the default gateway FAIR80:3 was the IP address of the link, the link local address. Okay, this one you can see it here, FAIR8:3. So that one becomes our default gateway here. Okay, you can see it does not come here. So so you can see all of these computers have IPv6 request successful. Even this one, all of them. All right. Okay, so guys, that's how to configure IPv6, DHCP server version 6 using Cisco router to assign IPv6 addresses to the host dynamically. Thank you so much, guys. So when I go back to our notepad, our Google spreadsheet, I'll mark that section as done. So when we meet next, let's do IPv6 plus interval routing. Thank you so much, guys. Please subscribe to this channel, like this video, share with friends, and let's see you again in the next class. Bye and see you again. Thank you.